Just before we start, I want to say I'm a little congested right now, so if I sound weird, that is why. But this is my individual presentation for the group video. I didn't initially plan on spending my break learning about meth, but sometimes that ends up being what you need to do. Relax, it wasn't firsthand experience, it was just research I was doing from the car and the 13-hour drive I had back home. But while everyone else was thinking about Thanksgiving dinner, all I could think of was all the lovely things that meth does to the human brain. So our group decided to do a presentation, or rather a group video about the effects of meth on the brain, both positives but mainly negatives. And we went with this because Delania is a neurobiology major, and we all thought the topic would be interesting to research and talk about. But the purpose of this particular presentation is to show what my specific role in the group was so that everyone knows how I contributed and I can be evaluated for that. Let's start with what my role was. Well, to summarize it, I was responsible for doing some of the research, or we're working on the script, and also recording some of the voiceover. So to break up that into some main points, I have come up with these three main points of emphasis, which were I did research, then revision, and then recording. And what that basically means is first I had to analyze sources for the research, then I had to add that research into the script and revise the actual script for the revision portion, and then I had to record my section that was designated to me for a voiceover and then send it to Delania for finalization. Let's begin with research. Since the three sources I originally had were already cited by Delania and Caden, I had to find three new sources, and this was actually a benefit because we got a lot more information about what meth actually does to you in the short term and chemically what it does to the brain. So this article I found called Dopaminergic Reward System, a short integrative review written by Oscar in 2010 at the University of Marburg, explained to all of us how these dopamine transporters are responsible for catching all the dopamine that is being sent to the receptor, and it clears it out so that people don't stay in a state of euphoria and pleasure that dopamine is responsible for. But what we learned that amphetamines do is they block off these receptors. And what that ends up doing is creating an oversaturation of the neurochemical dopamine, which leads to a very long state of euphoria and pleasure. And this leads to drug tolerance and addiction in many people. Then, after learning about how the addiction forms, I was interested in talking about, well, how do people recover from this addiction? And I used two articles to do this. They were, what are the long-term effects of methamphetamine misuse, and what are the short-term effects of methamphetamine misuse? Both of these articles written by the NIH in 2020. If you look at this image on the left, you see a healthy person. And then if you look all the way on the right, you see someone 14 months of abstinence. That shows that it takes over a year for most meth addicts to show any signs of recovery in the brain. And this is a big part of why many patients actually end up relapsing, is because it takes so long for the brain to actually start to recover from meth addiction. And to go along with that, a lot of meth addicts don't get proper treatment because there isn't really any prescribable treatment. That's only behavioral therapies for the most part, and that's not effective for everybody. So now let's look into the revision portion of my contributions. The best way I can show this is by showing a completely revamped attention grabber that I wrote. I was actually not present for the initial writing of the script because I was packing to go back home. So to make up for it, I told the group that I would add my research and then revise the script and try to make any improvements. So what I did here is I took the old attention grabber, which I didn't feel was very exciting, and then I made three big changes. I added speed, glass, crystal meth, a short intro that should get the attention of any person listening. Then I talked about the media and shows like Breaking Bad, which are pop culture icons that everyone should know and get everyone to relate to. And then I left them with a question, but what exactly is meth and what does it actually do? In terms of the recording, I was designated this blue portion, and what I did is I got in my basement closet and I recorded it and sent it to Delania after a few takes. And in summary, I think my work was spaced out fairly and evenly between doing research, writing, and recording. And I think our methodical approach to getting this project done in time has given me a lot of meth-based knowledge, and I hope that the next time you watch Breaking Bad or hear about meth in the news, you hopefully think about us. I'm not sure why that did that, but this is my works cited for the sources I used. Thank you.